Welcome back to Purple and Purple Reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about Nashville, Tennessee's Creation Con for Supernatural. Now, I'm filming this about a week before it happened, so I'm probably a little bit late in terms of having tips and reviews for Nashville Creation. This is going to be more of a tip video than a review video, because with the review video I will be doing creation in general rather than just a specific one. So if you're going to Nashville, pay attention, because the venue is different than it used to be. It's now at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Nashville rather than at the Grand Opry. If you want any advice, or if you haven't been there before and you want to know some tips about attending the convention in Nashville, stay tuned. The convention hotel. So I stayed here last year on the convention rate. It is very expensive if you don't use the convention rate, and still quite expensive if you do. The hotel itself is brand new. The rooms are amazing. I would definitely recommend staying there if you can afford it. It is expensive. I think it was about $240 a night. It doesn't have free parking at the hotel, just like any hotel in Nashville. It is so expensive to park in Nashville. It's like going to New York, DC, just any of the big major cities. You're going to be paying $40 to $50 a night for parking at a hotel or anywhere else in the city. So if you are flying in, don't bother hiring a car. If you're driving in, maybe use Parkopedia or another website to try and find cheap parking within walking distance of the hotel. Because Nashville is a very walkable city. Like, I walked from Music Row to the convention hotel, and yeah, some of the paths are quite small and narrow, just like you would find in America. So if you want to go from the convention hotel to downtown, it's like a 10-15 minute walk away from downtown. So it's very easily walkable. However, on the way back, you have to go slightly uphill, so if you have any disabilities, just be aware of that. Right, food. So you're staying at the Grand Hyatt, for instance, which means your food is not inclusive in your room rate. Where do you go for breakfast? I had breakfast in the hotel once, because it is not the cheapest. I think I spent maybe about $25 or $30 on breakfast. However, it was amazing. It was big, it had a proper British cup of tea with it as well. And I think that was the first cup of tea I had since I got to Nashville, because I just hadn't actually bought one or made one myself. I would recommend the breakfast if you can afford it. If you're staying at another hotel like the Holiday Inn across the road, they do free breakfast and free snacks in the afternoon. One of my friends was staying there and they raved about the food. However, I stayed in the Holiday Inn the Monday night because I went to the radio company gig and I couldn't afford the Grand Hyatt. So I stayed at the Holiday Inn for one night, and I didn't fancy the breakfast that morning. I went to a place on Music Row called Biscuit Love. I enjoyed it, and they actually have fruit there, so it was much needed fruit and much needed healthy stuff. If you're looking for something for a bit closer, there is McDonald's, but there is also a food assembly hall about a 10-minute walk away from the hotel. It has pretty much most of the local places in Nashville in this one building, so you can go get whatever you want food-wise in there. They do only accept card payments, they do not accept cash. However, this was where I went for food when I needed it during the convention. So if you've got a gap in your day and you want to leave the hotel and go for a walk and get some food, I would recommend the food assembly hall. In terms of a supermarket, I think there's a Publix not far away, so you can probably go and get some food and snacks from Publix and then bring it to your hotel. This was my plan, but then my plan got scuppered by socialising too much. So I never actually went to it, so I didn't actually have as many snacks in Nashville as I should have. So if you have no time to go get food, what do I suggest you do? There are a couple of cafes within the hotel. They're not cheap and they can have a bit of a queue, but they do have pre-made snacks and sandwiches and salads and things like that. So if you do find yourself hungry and you don't have time to go out and eat, there is food at the convention. Also, the bar in the lobby of the hotel does food, but again, it's not cheap, so just be aware of that. So if you have no time to go get food, there's always DoorDash and Uber Eats and all those delivery service. I did this ready for karaoke when I was like, oh, maybe we'll go out and get some food, and everybody was like, no, we want to queue for karaoke to get the best seats. So I was like, okay. So I just ordered food on there and ate it on the floor, queuing for karaoke. So if you are in a pinch, there are options to do that. So yeah, if I didn't eat that food, I probably would have passed out. And convention tip number 1 rule is 6 hours sleep, 2 big meals and 1 shower. So I needed that second meal because all I'd had was one other meal that day. Definitely consider delivery if you need it. If you're going by yourself to Nashville and you want to make some friends, the Facebook group for the Nashville convention, sometimes people put posts up going, is anybody here? If they were there early, does anybody want to meet up, have a drink and, you know, hang out? That's how I made some of my friends in Nashville. Somebody had put a post to the Facebook group saying, we're here on a Wednesday, we're going up to the rooftop bar at the Grand Hyatt. So if you're by yourself and you want to make friends, maybe put a post on the Facebook group if nobody has and see if anyone's around. The rooftop bar itself is pricey, but it's lovely. So you might just want to go up there, have one drink, have a look at the views. You can see all of Nashville pretty much, and it's pretty amazing. So I definitely recommend going there for one drink. It's all about the layout of the convention. So when you first enter the Grand Hyatt, you'll see an escalator just to your left. Up there, that is where, at the end of those escalators, you turn right, and that there is the beginning of the convention. So if you turn right out the escalators, you will then be in the vendors room. In front of that was the COVID testing, but I don't think they've got that anymore, so I have no idea if they're going to turn that into something else. Next to the vendors room is the panel room. If you need a lift or elevator in America, just keep walking as you enter the Hyatt, and it's just a little bit further beyond the sofas, and there's some lifts a little bit further up towards the rear of the hotel, and go in those, and then they come out at the opposite end of the vendors room. For your photos and meet and greets, photos are on the same level as the vendors room. They are just the opposite sides of the lift and further towards the back. The meet and greets are 1 floor up, and there's another escalator to take you there as well, or you can use the lift. What is the weather like in Nashville in December? All I've got to say is layer up. Because during the day, it's quite nice and pleasant, bit of sun, maybe. However, at night, it gets down to freezing temperatures. I do Celsius, so I think I got to -1 Celsius at one point, which is like 20 to 30 something degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not 100% sure. What's the weather outside, Alyssa?
Oh, it's only like 20 degrees outside. It's no big deal.
Always take layers, because then you can take them off or put them on if you need to. In terms of rain, I had one rainy day there, and that was typically the day where I did all the touristy things. So that's the day I did the trolley tour. So have a look at the weather beforehand, and if you've got any extra days, just plan your day around that, because being out walking in the rain is pretty miserable. Yeah, I would recommend doing something more indoorsy, like if you're going to museums and you're getting an Uber there. Nashville weather was pretty okay for this time of year, but yeah, it's not super hot. Don't expect it to be hot. Just be warned that you might want to dress for all weathers. So if you're from the UK, you probably know what it's like. Think of it as the UK, but maybe slightly warmer. If you have an extra day or two that you want to spend in Nashville because you're coming from afar, here are some places I recommend. I took the trolley tour of Nashville. So that took me on a tour all around the city, and you can get off at any spot you want and go into any museum or just have a wander around, and then you can get back on the trolley. However, it is only it's kind of like the hours about 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, so you may be dropped off somewhere and miss the last trolley. The trolley takes you to all the tour spots you want to go, and I would highly recommend it, and you get to learn a bit about the history of Nashville as well. There are so many museums in Nashville relating to music. So like the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Musicians Hall of Fame, I would definitely recommend these. I did not get a chance to go to the Musicians Hall of Fame, which I really wanted to do, but I did go to the Country Music Hall of Fame, and Even though I wasn't big into country music, I realised I knew more than I did. They had like, you know, outfits from like Shania Twain and Taylor Swift and Eagles and just loads of other different country artists. I wasn't allowed to film in the Country Music Hall of Fame, so I just took a lot of photos instead. Nashville's known for its nightlife. All the honky-tonk bars I would definitely recommend going into, at least a few of them. Just walking down the street of Nashville, you see musicians climbing out the windows trying to get people in. It's quite funny. I would suggest going to one of the pubs down Printers Alley. Printers Alley is another place in Nashville where you can go. It's got a lot of pubs down there and bars, so if you really want to go out and have a drink, I'd recommend going down there. Me and my friend Alyssa found a bar down there that was just kind of tucked away in a corner, so I would definitely recommend just going there. And it was on the Sunday after the convention and we just wanted to have a quiet drink, so we went out, found a random pub and just sat down and had a drink. However, if you're under 21, obviously you won't be able to go to some of the bars. So some of the bars do let people underage in if they serve food, so just double check to see which places allow under 21s in. Nashville is a great city to visit, so if you can, I would try and get out of the convention hotel and explore. If you're not going to come back here again, you're just going to miss out on a lot. I wish I had more time in Nashville, but because I had the pajama party on Thursday, the convention Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the radio company gig on the Monday night, I didn't get to see as much as I wanted. The convention for me took pretty much 5 days. And yes, I had the Monday to explore Nashville. However, after 3 days at a convention, I was wiped. So I wanted to just chill for a bit. So yeah, it's quite tiring, and don't underestimate that. So if you could go a few days beforehand, I would highly recommend that. Back onto food. My favourite meal in Nashville was Hattie B's hot chicken. Now this is definitely a recommendation from people from Nashville. When I had a meet and greet with Richard Speight Jr. at Crossroads 4, he did recommend this to me and I'm so glad I went. I would, however, suggest going to the Midtown restaurant as opposed to the one downtown, because the one in downtown just has queues and queues. In Midtown it's a lot quieter. It's actually the original location and I got in straight away and no queuing whatsoever. So Nashville was known for its barbecue as well. I only went to one barbecue place and I thought that was pretty decent. It was Martin's Barbecue. I kind of wish I ordered something with a bit more sauce on it, because I went for pulled pork at Martin's, but I wish I didn't. I wish I went for something a bit more saucier, like ribs or something. But the mac and cheese was really good. It's one of the best mac and cheese I've had, because we don't really do it very well in this country. How safe is Nashville? Downtown, you will find a lot of people trying to scam you out of money. And some of them aren't shy about the reasons they want the money. I did see one sign that says money for hookers and drugs or something to that effect. And if anybody took a photo of him, he'd try and get money from them. So just be warned about that. There's a lot of people on the streets in Nashville. Just be aware of your surroundings. I would also recommend, if you are out at night and you are going home and you don't have anybody with you, I'd recommend getting an Uber. We had some people at the bar at the Grand Hyatt who insisted on buying us drinks, and we were like, no. And then when my friend wanted to go back to her hotel, we saw them leaving at the same time. We were like, nope, we're getting an Uber. So me and her both got an Uber to our other hotels, because my first 3 nights I stayed in a different hotel to the Grand Hyatt. All in all, I'd highly recommend to go to Nashville for a convention. It is so much fun and you get to explore the city as well as go to the convention. So if you're looking for more of a holiday than just to go to a convention, I would recommend Nashville as one of those places. If you're going to Nashville this year, have a good trip. I'm not jealous at all. No. Okay, I am. Enjoy yourself, be safe, eat lots of good food, drink drinks at the honky-tonk bars, and more importantly, let me know how it was in the comments below. And I will see you next time.